When you wake up in the morning, you check your phone and you scroll. Within 5 minutes, you've viewed hundreds of faces, lifestyles and bodies that all seem to be better than yours. Before you've even had your breakfast, your self-esteem has been destroyed and you feel like you're not enough. That's the power of social media, and it affects us all more than we know. What do you do when you wake up? How many of you scrolled on a social media platform? For millions of teenagers across Australia, it's scrolling through social media platforms mindlessly. It's the first thing we think about. It's the first thing we do, and that is normalised. We live in a time where social media controls us. It controls our everyday conversations, the way we think, engage, and present ourselves. While social media can connect us all across the globe, it's damaging our minds. Social media is shaping an entire generation's sense of self. While it can be beneficial, it alters how young people perceive themselves and one another. According to the American Psychological Association, you spend an average of 4.8 hours daily on social media, mindlessly scrolling through post after post. The posts that have been carefully curated, edited, and designed to make them appear a certain way. We don't post who we are, we post who we want to be seen as. We post that idealised version of ourselves, the best parts of our lives. But here's the truth. No one wants to post the hard times, the struggles, the bad days. Teens are comparing themselves to a false reality that doesn't even exist. Vulnerable members of our youth use these curated posts and compare themselves towards these untruthful filters. Young people build their identities based on content they see online, but these identities are based on filters, validation, and inauthenticity. I remember one morning I woke up and the first thing I did, like I always did, was check my phone. I began to scroll mindlessly and saw photos from this influencer I'd been following for months. She seemed to have it all, the perfect skin, body, hair, and friends. In addition to that, thousands of followers, just like you and I, looking up to her lifestyle. I scrolled through her feed and began to think, why can't I look like that? And after that, I began to look at myself differently in the mirror, wishing that I was somebody different. Then one day, I stumbled across a video about that same influencer, exposing her for editing her photos. The video showed how she altered her body shape, beautified her face and skin, making her appear flawless. That was when my mindset shifted. I'd been comparing myself to a false reality, something that wasn't even the truth. All of those bad feelings that had been floating around in my head, all could have been avoided. I was comparing myself to something that wasn't even real, and yet it still affected me. A study from the Royal Society for Public Health found that social media is directly linked to self-identity and body image issues amongst youth. Why, are you wondering? Because the line between what is real and edited is so fine, it's almost invisible. This is Celeste Barber, a woman who goes against the flow. Barber is challenging curated lifestyle posts of celebrities, instead posting humorous videos that make fun of these lifestyles, edited photos and staged videos by showing how unrealistic these are for everyday people like you and I. She helps to remind us how life isn't always as perfect as it seems online. Through her online platforms, Celeste is trying to break down these barriers that social media has. Her post challenges these unrealistic beauty standards and the pressure to uphold an appearance. Her posts show that perfection isn't necessary to live a happy and abundant life. In doing so, she helps to destroy these barriers and encourage positivity, allowing for people to be proud of their true selves, instead of constantly comparing themselves to strangers who fake their lifestyles just for a like. No one warns you about the side effects that social media can have after a mere 5 minutes of scrolling. It's always fun at first. You see a video, you like, you laugh, you scroll, repeat. But without noticing, it's affecting the way you feel, slowly creeping in and taking over. Just like sugar. We love the short-term effects of it, but the more we consume, the more dangerous it is for our health. You may see a group photo, but you weren't invited. You scroll past perfect lives, bodies, skin, and suddenly yours doesn't seem too great. You second guess every second, every move, every part of yourself before you even hit post. And the worst part of this, we won't stop. We won't hesitate to reopen the apps, scroll and repeat what we know is damaging us. It's like sugar. Once we get a taste, we cannot get enough, and eventually we eat so much of it, in the end, we just end up feeling sick. Scrolling on social media releases a chemical in the brain called dopamine, which is linked to the feelings of pleasure and reward. Dopamine is the main chemical involved in addiction. The higher the dopamine release, the more addicted we become. Our brain's chemistry leaves us wanting more likes because they provide us with that short shot of dopamine. When it fades, it keeps us craving more. Studies show that teens who spend strenuous amounts of time on social media are more likely to feel anxious, disconnected, and depressed. We compare ourselves to everyone around us, but feel as though we can't talk to anyone. Instead of focusing on our feelings and seeking help, we simply ignore them and scroll past them. Instead of talking to someone, we text. Social media has been linked to several mental health issues: anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia. It raises an increase in mental distress, self-harm, and even suicide. So the question is, why aren't we more aware? Why do we continue to mindlessly scroll through content that poses such a risk to our mental health? Here's the funny thing. Social media allows us to be more connected than ever, but teens have never felt more alone. It allows us to stay connected. We can message anyone, anytime, anywhere. We may even have hundreds of friends or followers, but why do we feel alone? A digital connection isn't the same as a genuine human connection. A like doesn't hold the value of a real-life experience. It's the difference between texting someone and having a deep, genuine conversation with someone that lasts for hours. Social media isn't going anywhere. If anything, we need to start allowing more truth to be more authentic online. Have more conversations about the hard truths and what's happening, because every moment online is a choice, and those choices can help shape who we become. Thank you.